Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. First of all, isn't it lovely not to see Harry at the funeral of the Duchess of Kent? As far as I can tell, well underway. It might even be finished at the time I'm doing this recording. No sign of him. Thank goodness. For small mercies. These are going to be small mercies today. My readings, I'm still struggling with my uploading and hoping to have it sorted out in the next day or so. But I'm going to keep it small, keep it simple. Also using a different mic, a different kind of mic. So hopefully won't have sound troubles like I've been having recently. Yeah, anyway, let's get to it. Today, I'm looking at two little tidbits of gossip that might spell the downfall, the potential downfall of Harry and Meghan. And I think many of us watching this saga believe that the downfall is long overdue. And so I'm going to be looking at possible sources of scandal and downfall using the Deviant Moon Tarot. And the first one comes from British psychic Craig Hamilton Parker. I follow him. He does sometimes read on the royals. He's been around a very long time. He reads on other interesting things as well. And I do keep an eye on him for my other channel, which I will get back to when the upload saga is resolved. But Signs and Wonders Tarot, for those of you who are wondering. Craig Hamilton Parker put up a little short today about those famous or infamous files. I'm going to call them the Jeffstein files. And he's speculating that they are going to be released. And he says there is some political scandal related to them that is brewing and that is going to blow up a big one, according to him and his opinion. And he is also speculating, he says, could Harry and Meghan be tied up in this scandal? So my ears pricked right up and I'm going to have a look at this. He says there is another scandal brewing, which is going to be worse in Hollywood. And he didn't mention the Parkles implicated in that. But anyway, this one was, as I say, it got my mind going. And we're going to read on this. And let's remind you right now, it's tarot. And it's for fun and entertainment. It is all my opinion. It is all speculation. We read on energy here, and particularly energy around rumours and gossip involving the British royals, because they are, of course, an archetypal family. Haven't said that for a while, but why not today and now? And of course, there is a disclaimer in the box below, and please read it, and please do your own research, and please reach your own conclusions about this and all other stories I read on here on this channel. We're going to look at those files. We're going to ask if Harry has any connection. We know Uncle Andrew had connection with Jeffrey. Meghan had any connection with him. Are the Parkles worried about some sort of scandal erupting around any possible potential hypothetical connections? What might be exposed, and could this be their downfall? There have been rumours previously about such things. There were rumours also around the Diddy thing. That all went very quiet. But interestingly, while that was all really getting quite agitated, so the Bring Harry Home saga really warmed up. I find that interesting. I don't know about you. It could just be wild coincidence, of course. Let's see what's going on. 6-card reading. Is this scandal a scandal waiting to blow, or has Craig Hamilton Parker got it all wrong? Wild speculation, as I've said. All opinion. There are the 6 cards. There is the underlying energy, which is an interesting one because it's the trap card. Finding yourself in a pickle and not knowing how to get yourself out of it unless you run home to Pa, possibly. Just saying. Uncle Andrew was at the funeral today, but it is a family affair and a private affair, so I'm okay with that, even if he's all over the front pages of the newspapers and not seeming to mind that too much. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Ace of Swords, that is a trap. That is finding yourself in a predicament you can't see your way out of. Interesting, don't you think? Heart of the reading. What are we looking at? Ooh, we're looking at the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. A sudden setback, a reversal of fortune. A bad luck story. Timing. It's all about timing. And this is bad timing. This is coming. This is something you can't control. It's fate. It's destiny. But destiny with a twist. And is kind of rolling your way. And when the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse, it runs you over, basically. So it doesn't look good for Harry and Meghan. Just saying, underlying energy suggests that they might be in rather a fearful state because you're afraid when you're in Eight of Swords energy. I don't always say that, but it is fear that keeps you in this tense state where you think, oh, I don't know what to do. And here comes fate and bad timing and bad luck, ill fortune coming to smite you, possibly. Let's look at Harry and whether there are any connections with Jeffrey. As I say, Uncle Andrew, we all know about that, and apparently much worse to come in a big email dump. That apparently is going to be the end of Uncle Andrew. That was in the press the last day or so, as far as I can recall. So much happens every day. It's really hard right now to keep on top of it all. Harry, anything there that we've got problems with? We've got the Magician. Very powerful card. It's not scandal as such, the Magician, but it's making it's making everything happen. This is spin, but also sleight of hand and kind of it's almost giving me Wheel of Fortune energy, the Magician. Whatever you want, I can manifest it. I can produce it for you. If you want that one over there, I can produce it for you. If you want that place over there, I can find it for you. Magician is very powerful manifesting energy. It's I'm going to say that in this context, it's coming across interestingly for me as quite occult. Wouldn't normally, but it is now, which is quite strange, I think, personally, that kind of vibe is coming through for me. And just a rather strange energy that's coming through in that card. I'm almost getting, and I'm going to say this, with the Magician, that there's always speculation that there were backers around and there were plots and schemes and bring down the monarchy and all of that. It's here in this energy. I'm going to have a little pause because Tess has got herself stuck in her pajamas. It suddenly got very cold. I'm back, and she's not used to wearing her pajamas, so she got all tied up in them, tied up in knots. So anyway, that's what's coming through with the Magician. They said political scandal. It's possible in there. I'm being as careful as I can with what I'm saying, but there is a hint of that as a kind of kingmaker energy in that Magician card. How about Madame? Any connection? Yeah. Oh, we've got the Nine of Wands. And this is somebody who is, and it's interesting, it's a female form in this card in the Nine of Wands, which is not normally. It's telling me that there might be problems for her potentially in connection with Jeffrey, with the Nine of Wands, because it's an embattled energy in the Nine of Wands. You've got your guard up when you're in that energy. You're making your last stand. You're trying to hide behind a wall of silence, a barrier, pulling up the drawbridge, making sure that people can't get access to you in that Nine of Wands. I think that there is something in there that is making her feel quite vulnerable, because when you're in that energy, you are under attack at a certain level, and you feel that you need to almost hide. That's what's coming through for me. I think there are things in her past, rather murky things in her past. You can speculate whether that might involve sailing the high seas or something like that. I don't know. I'm an energy reader. I'm doing a tarot reader, and I'm expressing my personal opinion. And but I've got Kingmaker energy here for on the Harry side of the equation, and with her, I've got that she's in a much more vulnerable energy, that there are things there that she doesn't want people to get access to or to find out, and that she's feeling quite beaten down about. Interestingly, I'm not getting good energy on this tarot table for them, not with the Eight of Swords as the underlying energy, and the central issue, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, a sudden setback coming that they didn't expect. Everyone thought that those files were pretty much dead and buried, much like Jeffrey himself, shall we say, allegedly. Let's get to how worried the Parkles might be. Collectively, we're looking at them because they are still a unit. They're very much a unit at the moment in their spin and their nonsense making, their trouble making, in my opinion. How worried are they? And we've got the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands isn't a worry card. It's a waiting energy. It's not a negative waiting energy necessarily, but it's waiting in a sort of hopeful way. And that tells me that they're waiting, hoping that this gets shut down again. And that they don't have to sit in that energy, that Nine of Wands energy, this Eight of Swords situation will resolve itself without them having to do anything. This tells me that they're waiting possibly for other people to do stuff, because when you're in the Three of Wands energy, you are waiting for your ships to come back. It's an agency of others. You've sown a seed and then you wait for it, as you can see here. This is a dark tarot, so the seed that is blooming now and bearing fruit is bearing rather twisted and distorted fruit, because we're in the deviant moon tarot. So the moon is in all these cards, pretty much. Not all of them, but most of them. So let's see what might possibly be exposed, shall we say, allegedly, about Harry and Meghan. Anything that's problematic. We've got the Five of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. The Five of Pentacles is a money card, first and foremost, about being broke, and how Jeffrey got his hooks into the royals was through money, and how he got his hooks into most people, well, not most people, many people, was through money. I think that he loaned Fergie money, and that's how he got introduced to Andrew all those many years ago. Might have been a bit of a bailout there. That's not sordid, it's not necessarily sleazy, but it does tell me that here is influence being bought and paid for, potentially, because it's sitting under this Kingmaker card for me, the Magician. I will bail you out. You're in so much trouble here. And note in this Five of Pentacles, there is that all-seeing eye. It is a bit conspiracy theory-ish, that all-seeing eye, is it not? That's watching. And that possibly access was gained. This is the kind of story I'm speculating might emerge if there is any truth or energy around what Craig Hamilton Parker has been seeing psychically, that there might be money for access, and it's not access to politicians and things like that necessarily, but it's access to, well, let me reframe that. It possibly is access to high status people, access to royals, access to the people they rub shoulders with, access to secrets, things like that, yeah, I'll bail you out, and you know, in your hour of need, I might just gain some interesting information. And there's always speculation with Jeffrey that he was an agent for that small country, and there is that as well. It could be a lot of trouble. I'm thinking particularly for Harry, even more than for her. I think hers is more, I'm getting a shameful secret. This is more menacing. because it's a bailout potentially with that eye, that spying energy. And we know that he watched things. He had cameras everywhere. Harry might have been caught on camera doing something, saying something, ratting someone out, promising something. This is wild speculation. I have to say it's wild speculation. I'm doing an energy reading. I'm reading tarot cards, and I'm saying what's coming through for me intuitively when I am looking at these cards. Not saying that this is what he has done. I'm saying potentially, possibly, this is the kind of story that could emerge if the files were to be released in their full, shall we say, glory. Would this be a downfall moment? I've already got a downfall here with the Wheel of Fortune. It is literally a downfall, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Is this what could bring Harry and Meghan down? And I've got the Knight of Wands in reverse. It could be. Knight of Wands in reverse is impulsive, hot-headed. It can be a very, very promiscuous energy as well. That energy hasn't come through here so much for me. It's come through potentially in that shame energy in that Nine of Wands. Just saying, I'm reading cards, I'm reading energy, I'm wondering I'm feeling my way through these cards. But that Knight of Wands is a very Harry energy. It's a much more Harry energy than a Meghan energy. And it might be that some peccadillos, some indiscretions are revealed about Harry, whether they are that kind of indiscretion or they're indiscretions that have come about because of his travels, his military exploits, his associations, his wandering around the world, because the Knight of Wands does like to wander around the world and pop up in places he's not necessarily very welcome. I'm just getting... To me, this is reading pretty much like Craig Hamilton Parker was speculating when he said, could there be some possible involvement? This is reading as a more political scandal than a salacious scandal. That's how it's reading for me. And the one that's coming through as the one that could potentially be caught out in this situation or exposed in this situation is Harry. Interestingly for me, much more so than Meghan. And of course, for the 40th time in this reading, Uncle Andrew already been there, done that. So it's not a stretch to think that Harry might be implicated in something similar, but the sense of what is going on here, really I keep being drawn back to this Magician card and to the notion of Kingmaker. I hope you followed me through that. It was a rather strange reading to pick my way through, but I think there is something in there that is interesting energetically, and it could spell a lot of trouble, in my opinion, for the gingerbread, as he is known in some circles. So that's the reading. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.